Have you ever wondered how it's possible to sew seams like this in fleece on the overlocker and trim them without getting it all tangled up between your blades and caught in your machine, causing mayhem? If you have, then please stick around as I'll show you how it's done. My name's Laura and you're watching my channel So Very Laura. So welcome to day one of the 12 days of sewing Tipmas and Advent Swapmas. And if I can get that right for 12 days, I will be amazed. Hello, future Laura here. So right after I managed to get through the title of the vlog, my microphone died and I didn't realise until I'd got all the way through to the end of the vlog and I was editing, by which time it was a bit late to refilm. So I'm coming to you today on the 3rd of December, but I will also then release a vlog tomorrow as planned on the 4th. So what I was about to say before I was rudely interrupted by the lack of microphone was that my plan for December is to come to you on alternate days. So that's 12 days in total, up to Christmas Eve. And I will be doing a tip on sewing, either that I've got from my own experience or that I've read about or seen somewhere else on YouTube, in which case when I know where it's come from, I will credit it. And I will also then be opening a gift each day from my lovely Advent Swapmas buddy this year, who is Tina from Bobbing Along Nicely. So I will link her channel down below. She's doing Vlogmas every day and she's opening the gifts that I've sent her on the first 12 days. And then I think she's got another advent calendar that she's going to do in the run up to Christmas. So do go along and watch her. And I will show you the first gift that she gave me later on in the vlog. So without further ado, let me get on and talk to you about what my first tip is. Now, this is something that I first showed on my channel in June 2023, but I've had a lot of lovely new subscribers since then. And I also think it's a tip worth repeating at this time of year because it relates to sewing fleece on an overlocker and how you manage to get started with that without actually getting all the fabric stuck in your blade. And it might be the season to be jolly, but it's also the season to be jolly cold, and therefore sewing fleece at the moment I think is something that might be on a lot of people's plans over the next 2 or 3 months. So I am now going to cut to a clip of even more past Laura than yesterday, and then I will come back to you and we'll talk a bit more about where my other tips are going to come from. And I'm also going to show you what the lovely Tina bought for me that I opened yesterday. So if you've watched me for any length of time, you will know that I have got quite a few Nora tops, the Tilly and the Buttons pattern, made up in fleece. And it's perfectly possible to sew those pretty much completely on the overlocker apart from the hem, and I've managed to do that, but I had an awful lot of trial and error when I first started in terms of finding the right settings for sewing my fleece. So you'll see, actually I've not changed. I've had a bit of a practice. You see, I just had a quick practice for finding the stitches, and maybe it's not perfect, but it's not too bad. And I've got my needles set on a 3 tension and my loopers set on a 4. I'd maybe mess around with this if I was doing an actual garment, and that isn't the main thing I wanted to show you. But I've widened my cutting width. You can see just there, the end would be a normal cutting width, and I've made it just ever so slightly wider. So that's one of the things I've done. And the other thing I've done already is to change the presser foot weight. So I have pushed it, which way? There's normal. And on mine, if you're sewing heavier fabrics, you push it back the other way to make it slightly less pressured. But the thing I really wanted to show you was that, if you can imagine, sorry, I'm kind of filming this one-handed, is if you were trying to sew that straight away with the knife, there's a real danger that it'll get caught up because it's so thick and it's hard for the knife to get going on it. So I saw a trick elsewhere on YouTube that I'll put a link to the video if I can find it, but I tried it and it is super helpful. And what it suggests you do is that you simply cut out a little notch at the start of your sewing line. So you use that so you can get your fabric in, and so that's then already being pulled through by the feed dogs at the point the knife starts to cut. So I'm just going to make a cut and then I will show you. Okay, so there you can see, I can get it to focus, come on, focus. There we go. I have just literally cut a small notch in the start of the seam, and now I will sew that. So I'll pop you kind of wedged on my knee, hopefully, and then fingers crossed I will be able to sew this and show you what I mean. So if I lift up the presser, sorry, this is all really awkward because of the way I've got the camera, but if you can see, if I move my hand out of the way, the fabric is pushed in through where the notch is, and then that should mean that the knife will find it a whole lot easier to cut. And I'm sewing at about 5/8 of an inch with for the left hand needle. So here we go. So fingers crossed this is going to work. It's already cutting through and there's no problem with the fabric going through. You can see it is starting to come out there. So hopefully, normally this would be easier because I'd be using two hands to drive it through. It's a bit wiggly, but you can see that the knife hasn't got stuck, and just because you've given it that little bit of a helping hand to get going at the beginning. So there you'll see. So cut out the bit at the top, and then it all continued down without a problem. And you can see, you can, if I put it right, you can see the piece of fabric that's been cut off. So that's how I have learned to do seams on fleece on an overlocker without it jamming up around the knife. Hope you found that helpful. So I hope you found that tip helpful. As I say, I filmed it a little while ago, but I think it's still really relevant and really useful. So thinking about the tips that are coming up, some of them are overlocker tips that I've suggested I could do on my channel, and some of you have said yes. So I have now got my overlocker back from servicing, yay! But I haven't set it back up again yet. But now that I've got it back, I can look at how to gather on an overlocker and also how to do a rolled hem on an overlocker, which some of you said you would like to see. And I've got at least another 2 tips on overlockers that I can think of. So some of them will be that. And then I've also got this book, which I saw someone on YouTube talk about ages ago, must be 2 years ago. You can't get it anymore, I don't think, new. So it's one of the Singer series of sewing books. I've got the one on overlockers as well, which is great. and this, as you can see, is called 101 Sewing Secrets. And some of them are fairly straightforward kind of methodologies, but some of them are literally called sewing room secrets. So I thought I would have a look through here. It was published in 1989, but I suspect that a lot of them will still be relevant today. So I thought I could give some of them a whirl and share them with you. And if you've got any sewing tips that you'd like to share, please do leave them in the comments down below. I've been sewing for it's probably about 7 years, but I don't know everything by any stretch of the imagination. I still wouldn't consider myself an advanced sewist. I'd consider myself probably an intermediate who sometimes attempts advanced patterns with mixed results. And I think we can all learn from each other. So yeah, if you've got any comments, or if there's anything that you think I could help you with, or someone else who watches me can help with, please do leave some questions down below as well, and we can all have a look at those together. So next up is I'm going to show you what the lovely Tina got for me yesterday. I should say that Advent Swapmas has been organised by Sam at Sequin Girly, and she suggested that Tina and I pair up, and we knew each other slightly from the Busy Bee Sewing Challenge, and we've chatted a little bit about likes and dislikes on Instagram Messenger. So I'm hoping that she likes what I've got her, and I definitely like the first gift that she's sent me. So what I'll do, I will cut to some footage of me opening the box yesterday, because I've got the visual, I just haven't got the sound. So you can watch me open it so you can see what my reaction is, and then I'll show you it in a bit more detail. So this is the card that Tina got me with the lovely reindeer on. And the card says, "Dear Laura, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope that you have as much fun opening these as I did shopping and making." So I'm getting something she's made, which is lovely. Lots of love, Tina. And then it says Happy Vlogmas. So that's lovely. So thank you, Tina. Beautiful card. And it's my first Christmas card of the year. So this is what she has bought me, which I've got upside down. And you can see it is Turkish baklava. So it's these gorgeous sweet treats. And it says, baklava is a rich, sweet dessert pastry made up of layers of phyllo filled with chopped nuts and sweetened and held together with syrup or honey. So I think I have had this before, maybe, if I've been out, but I've certainly never bought it before. But it looks wonderful, and I think it would be really nice to eat one evening snuggled up while I am sitting warm and cozy in front of the seasonal TV. So thank you so much, Tina. That is a lovely, thoughtful gift, and I'm really looking forward to having this. So I will be back tomorrow with another sewing tip and to open gift number 2 from Tina. As I say, she's started opening mine, so do go over and have a look so you can see what I bought her. And she is taking as her theme for Vlogmas. She's doing it every day, and she's talking about Christmas traditions, and it's really interesting. So do go and have a look at what she has put out so far. And I also just wanted to say that I am well aware that in December there are a lot of Vlogmas episodes going out, and so if you are watching this, then that's lovely. Thank you for your time and appreciation of my channel and what I'm doing. I think because it's Vlogmas, I probably won't really release too much longer content. I have got a sew along that I can't show you yet because it's a gift for someone. But maybe when I know they've opened it, I will release that in December in case it's something you want to have a go at over the holiday. But I promised you a series about sewing overwhelm, and I'm going to leave that. I might film some of it in the run up to the holidays, but I think I probably won't release it until either the week between Christmas and New Year, when nobody knows what day it is and people might be sewing and looking for something to watch, or in the new year. So I think I'm going to leave that for now. If I'm doing any major makes, I might just show you quickly what I've made, but then I'll do a summary or something in the new year, because I am well aware that there are much bigger sewing vloggers than me out there, and that everybody probably wants to watch what they're doing. So I hope you are not getting too overwhelmed. That's another reason for not releasing anything around sewing overwhelm at the moment, because I think December can be overwhelming for so many people. Whether you celebrate Christmas or not, everything is still chaos. Car parking is a pain. Shops are really busy. So I think, you know, hopefully you are getting some time to breathe in the middle of all this end of year busyness. So I will see you all tomorrow. Until then, take care. Bye for now.